Bonus episode. The project is about feedback and collaboration. So I'm taking your calls. We're reading your comments. And we're going to do them batch by batch. And hopefully it shows that there is commitment to the cause here of hearing you. And hopefully we'll make the project better and different. And it will incentivize you to get involved in the conversation. So please subscribe, follow, leave your comments, hit me up on social media, and you can call the number on your screen. And please leave your email because we're going to have more offerings for people who are involved with the project, send you out special episodes, special videos, special information. So let's get after those calls.
Hey, Chris. Been connected to you since you started at CNN. Always love what you have to say. I mean, I think this is a great format now. Love what you have to say. But I think you are reaching so far to the right on certain issues, which, I mean, personally, I didn't see you that way. And I get it, you evolve. Stuff happened, you evolve. But you're reaching a little bit too far right, even demonizing the left a little bit. But I still really appreciate what you have to say. Keep up the good work. I'll be listening again. Thank you.
Okay. My first comment is I don't say things to make you feel good about how you think already, okay? I'm not here to confirm how you feel. I reach a little bit to the right. I don't process things that way, okay? You do, because that's what you're tuned to, is left and right. I don't play that game. I see it the way I see it. Sometimes I exaggerate notions to provoke conversation, to make you think about it. It doesn't always reflect my personal feeling. Now, it shouldn't bother you if I'm too much in one direction for you. Don't listen. Now, I appreciate that you do, but be open, brother. Be open. Listen to the arguments that I'm making or what I'm pulling out from one side. I'm certainly not demonizing the left. The only thing that I am bad on is the system. I do not believe the two-party system is serving us well. I am very open to the idea of more parties. Not everybody is. I'm open to their suggestion that I'm wrong. So I just want it to be better. I don't have to be right. I just want things to be better. So I would get off the directions and just listen to what makes sense and be open. And I appreciate and I am open to your feedback. I thank you for it. And I appreciate you giving me a chance.
Hey, Chris, how are you? My name is Mike, and I've been listening to the podcast now for a couple of weeks and really been enjoying listening to an alternative point of view that's not based on left or right, but just on common sense. My question for you, and I'm hoping that we get an answer to this, is how do we engage in constructive conversation about the potential downfall or the downfall we're now seeing of the two-party system? Because I am really engaged in seeing a third, fourth, fifth party, whatever it is, and moving that conversation forward. And it seems to be hard to have those conversations with people who are so stuck in the beliefs that they have and believing what they hear on Fox News or believing what they hear on MSNBC is gospel. And how do we break people out of that and get the constructive, critical thinking back into the everyday private citizens that vote for these politicians that have really pushed us to one pole or the other? That's what I'm ultimately curious about. And I thank you for your time and any response you may give. Be well.
Appreciate you, brother. Look, the reason it's hard to change the game is because the people who are playing it benefit from it. Right? You're not going to get people in the two-party system who want more parties. You will get Congress members over a barrel immediately when you talk about term limits. Why don't they want to vote for term limits? Because they don't want to shorten their stay. That's why. So that's the difficulty, is that the media gets aspects of it, get caught up in the game. They will attack people who criticize what they do, because that's easier than dealing with the criticism. The people in the parties want to keep it the way it is. And the people who follow the parties, people don't like change. You know, we always say change, change. It's just a big, powerful political term. People don't really like change if it requires them to change. But I think that we need more choice. And I think we are at an inflection point in terms of people if not a watershed moment, but the idea that people are just sick of it. And you see that. You get 1 in 3, maybe 2 in 5 are saying they're not Republican or Democrat. I mean, in any other market, that's a huge opportunity. Somewhere between a third and 40% of the available customer base doesn't like the current options. That should spur innovation. It should spur people trying to do different things and to do better. And I think a big part of it is why I'm trying to rally free agents like you. It's not just about who's bad or what's wrong. It's about what's right and who's good. Left, right, reasonable, progressive, pragmatism. Principles are in place. But what we do is case by case to get to a better place. I'm with you, and I appreciate you.
Hello, Chris. My name is Alex. First, thank you for all the years of sharing information. You've provoked so much good thinking within me, and I've learned a great deal. So, my whole life with a third or a fourth party. I remember in the 60s, my mom and dad talking to other people on a porch. And my dad's primary concern about parties beyond Democrat and Republican is, well, they're going to split the vote. They're going to lose. They're going to split the vote. And the other side, whoever that might be, may lose. So beyond ideological perspectives, the idea of diminishing the impact of the individual vote, the collective vote, and losing, I think, is a practical concern. Now, this is not an excuse not to pursue ideology over winning and losing, but it is a practical concern. I agree with you that there should be not 3, but 4 or 5 or 6 or even 7 different parties. But how does that translate practically to a practical outcome? Not so sure. I'm not so sure where to go with that. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to call this number. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. And I'm kind of in the same place that you are. It's not an easy fix. Otherwise, we would have done it already. Ranked choice voting, I think, is an initial step. I think a shame campaign to get term limits. I think a shame campaign to get purple states to apportion their electors. These would help create more choice within the current structure, and then you have more parties, and people will debate it if we're lucky. But a third party can be a spoiler system. Your father was right. And we've seen that before, and that is a concern right now for the left. Right? Last time with Ross Perot wound up costing the Republicans. But Yang, the theory about his forward parties that it will hurt the Democrats. Now, he says a lot of his membership is former Republicans. He'll have to kind of bear that out for people to give them a better sense of who's in his party and who it's resonating with. But I think just because something is hard doesn't mean you don't do it, especially if you refuse to accept the current situation. We have stayed with it way beyond a date where it was more of a plus than a minus. It's been more of a minus than a plus for a while. I have conversations with people who are party players, and it doesn't matter what I say. They have an example of the other side that somehow mitigates the outrage of their own side. It's broken. Got to do better.
Hey, Chris, always loved you on CNN. Look forward to watching you on your new platforms. I'm not sure what your focus is going to be, but man, if you could look into the family court system in this country, the child support system and Title 4D of the Social Security Act that reimburses states for collecting child support, which incentivizes them to turn one parent into a visitor so they can collect child support from that parent, which breaks up families, removes usually men from families. Between that and the incarceration system in this country, it's a big reason, I think, why kids are failing. And most mass shooters don't have a dad in the home, things like that. The crime we have in our inner cities, et cetera. Man, if you could look into that stuff, I'd be happy to go into more detail if you have time to respond. Appreciate it. If not, love your show. Love what you do. Keep doing it.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I appreciate you sticking with me and helping me figure out how to be of more use to you and people like you. So I appreciate that. Family court is a really tough situation. And I've been hearing about it for a long time. And it is highly imperfect. It needs more attention. I do think that it also provides tremendous services for people. There's so many screwed up things happening with families in America today. Court intervention is necessary way too often. But how it works can be unfair. And it hasn't really made it to the top of any real election priorities. And you hear a lot of yap episodically about the justice system, but people don't really ever make it a huge, we saw it with policing, right? After a spate of particularly obnoxious shootings and killings. But what really changes and who really carries that mandate forward, I think it winds up being a local issue where you have to take it on. Now, what is my job? My job is to expose egregious examples of things, because it really, I got to avoid gray spaces because I don't move the needle. And my goal is to move the needle. So you got something you want me to know, or an example that sets it in that kind of stark relief of how wrong something is, let me know. But I appreciate you. If for nothing else, I appreciate you for caring. We have to care. That expression, you dare to care. It's hard to care. You get your feelings hurt. You feel stupid. You feel that you've been taken advantage of by caring about things where it doesn't seem that other people do, or that they care about you. But it's the right thing to do, and I appreciate you caring about what's going on in your community.
Okay, so I have a question. I'm really bummed that you are going to be on this news channel now after starting your project. Are you going to continue your project? That's my question. My name is Kaylee. I'm loving the Chris Cuomo Project. I'm even thinking about starting a podcast after you. Anyway, let me know if you're going to continue the project or not. Thanks.
You should start a podcast that takes my podcast apart. That will be a sign that I'm truly relevant. Of course, I'm going to keep doing the project. I will always do the project. This is my passion project. I own it. It's how I believe I can help. NewsNation, I'm excited about. I think it matters if I'm on television. So many people know me from television. It's such a powerful medium. And it gives me the ability to do breaking news and to go places that matter in the world that I can't do on my own. Going to Ukraine is dangerous and expensive and requires infrastructure that a real news organization has, and I don't. So I'm excited about going there, and please don't confuse NewsNation with Newsmax, okay? It happens in my own family. They are polar opposites, okay? And actually, that's not even true. They're in different games, okay? I'm not going to a place where groupthink overwhelms what you can do, and you got to make sure you're on the right page and you don't piss anybody off. I'm done with that. I was never a fan of it to begin with. And I'm not bad-mouthing CNN. I think CNN is a great institution and it serves a tremendous purpose and has a lot of great people in it. But NewsNation is a good thing, and I'm hoping to make it better. Appreciate it. How'd I do answering the calls? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did I hit it? Did I miss it? Subscribe, follow, send me your comments, use the number. Let's keep this conversation going. I'm so happy for your participation. You're making the project better.